Jesus said something interesting to the disciples. He said to them, "This kind cometh not but by prayer and fasting." Do you all remember? You've heard that. Prayer and fasting. Most of us don't think deeply about, and that was when Jesus came down from the Mount of Transfiguration. They had this little boy that was demon-possessed. His father was begging with the disciples to do something. The demon would throw the boy in fire, throw the boy in the water, try and kill him. And the father says, "Do something." And the disciples said, "Why can't we do anything?" Jesus said, "This kind cometh not but by prayer and fasting." Whoa. What is fasting? Fasting is denying myself. What is prayer? Seeking God. God said he loves us to seek him. You'll seek me and find me when you seek for me with what? All your heart. God is looking not for empty platitudes, me saying, "Oh, I love the Lord, I want to serve the Lord." He is looking, like we saw yesterday, at our heart, our motivation. So, what we see here is to live the perfect peace life that Isaiah is all about, we have to learn about how to stay connected to God, which is prayer. That's how we're connected to God. That's how we seek him. That's the connection. You know how you look at your phone to see if you have cell service, or you look to see if you have Wi-Fi so it will work. How does the Christian life work? Prayer. That's why Paul said we should pray without what? Ceasing. Do we? No. Why? We pray in proportion to how much we need, how much we perceive we need God. So when you're sick, pray, pray, pray. When mom's sick, pray, pray, pray. When you don't have enough money, pray, pray, pray. When you need a job, pray, pray, pray. When you want to get married, pray, pray, pray. But not the rest of the time. We've handled it all ourselves. So we pray in proportion to how much we need God. Paul said he needed God all the time. And I can't wait for chapel. We're going to talk about how he applied that. So prayer in Isaiah chapter 36 to 39 is when Hezekiah faced the worst possible situation. Assyria was camped. Now here I'll show you Jerusalem. Here's Jerusalem. And on the north side of Jerusalem, Jerusalem is tremendously defensible from right here to right there, this whole side. But from the north, it's downhill, so you could roll a ball down the hill and it would go right into the wall of Jerusalem. You don't even have to do any effort. Jerusalem is built on a hillside. And so it has these walls here, but down in the valley, they have really big walls, and the city was right here. So where did the Assyrian army? 185,000 soldiers. There were a lot more people than 185,000 because every soldier had to have a cook, had to have someone that carried their tent, had to have someone that made their arrows, had to have someone that did all that work. So there were probably 500,000 or maybe 1/3 Assyrians right here, camped. So you could see all their tents. I'll show you in a few minutes. I actually have a picture from the war that still exists of the Assyrian camp. You can see exactly how they laid it out. Because Sennacherib was so proud of his army, he left pictures of it. But here they are. They're the Israelites, the people of Judah. Hezekiah is standing right here on the wall looking, and 185,000, his worst nightmare. All you can see, as far as you can see, are them, the Assyrians. And they're going to do one thing, encircle this city, and that's what they always did. They started here, made their camp, and then they just made a wall. And nobody could get out of Jerusalem, and they could go and ravish every farm. They could have the whole nation of Israel to supply them. They could stay there, and they did in sieges for years until you starved and gave up in Jerusalem right here. That's what was going on. The Assyrian camp, the Assyrian siege wall, and the people of Judah, Hezekiah, inside their little walled city. And boy, did they need God. So this whole hour is about this. Look what God unleashes. Who we were hearing about yesterday, the destroyer. He keeps him in the pit for special things, like the Exodus, Passover, like when David sinned and the death angel came. But the destroyer comes from the pit as a response, look at that, to Hezekiah's prayers.